feel. Feel like I'm blocked, but bro, I'm blocked because I know the real. Brian ain't got what niggas got, but shit just know I'm real. I thought I had me a meal, man, it's been stolen deal. Just like I left with so much K, it almost got me killed. Shit, God's the reason that on back showed me my soul was real. And after that situation, I saw what judgment is. If you been stabbed all in your back, well, shit, you know the feel. But when I talk people speeches, they don't know what to say.
She Shed Show 2.0. Hey y'all, I am your girl and host, Super Duper _ Trunker Rattler. I'm joined this evening by Miss Lovey on the ones and twos. And we have a super special guest, as promised, in the studio, Kojak Charles.
Hey.
All right, so
they got out of control when they said, "Whoa, people, y'all calm down." They got out of control.
Yeah, how y'all doing?
Already. I know I'm feeling great. I'm so happy and pleased and grateful that you came up here and sat down with me.
I had to.
I had to show everybody that, man, Kojak Charles is the one.
I appreciate that, y'all.
Now, I've known this man, so how many years has it been? About 5, maybe
5 or 6.
5 or
6 years.
When you came into my orbit, man, I tell you, I might have been going through some crazy stages in my life, changes and whatnot, moving from one place to the next and having difficulty in my career. And you just came in and you sorted so many problems out for me. So I wanted to bring you onto the show and let everyone know, who my spiritual mentor, my career mentor was. So I'm really grateful that you came in.
I appreciate that. But you had everything going. You just needed some outside energy to come in and correct some stuff, but you was already on it. When I met you was already on it.
I am trying.
But it's growing better, though. You're way totally different than when I first met you.
How so? Tell me.
Mentally and spiritually grounded. Like, you're more centered. You know what you want. More ambitious than, it's not. You straight now. You more focused, I see.
Thank you.
You're more focused.
Yeah, when I met you, I was really trying to get going in entertainment. I wasn't really sure exactly what it was that I was going to do. I knew I had several talents as far as like modeling and singing and hosting and things like that, but I really wasn't really grounded because I wasn't sure like where I might be able to get some effect from.
What tripped me out about you when you brought the flute, the studio, you played the flute.
Yeah.
That blew me away.
Yeah.
To see a woman of your stature pull a flute out and play it. Like,
what, are women not playing instruments anymore?
No, not like that. You see women play instruments in marching band, but to see a woman on the lane you in, and then you just jump out and pull a flute out, like, wait a minute, that just came out of left field, because that won't happen.
Yeah. I really want to get some music going. I do play the flute. I do sing. I try to do those things together, and I've had a little success. Even with the tracks that I recorded with you, I've sent them out to other people. They really enjoyed them, and I think I might want to re-record that. You think I can?
Yeah, you always can. You can. It's one thing about art. It never goes away, and the older it gets, the better it gets.
That's right.
So you can take a song, if it's timeless, if it's not dated, you can always, a hit is a hit. And the song is, if it's good to the ears and it's feel good music, you can play that 20 years from now. How many songs y'all played that came out years and years and years ago and it feel like it just came out?
Already. I love music. It doesn't matter if it's old music, new music, if it's new music that sounds old or anything like that. I like it all. I like to listen to it all, give it all an ear so that I can see what direction music is going in. Right. I really like it now,
It's vibrations and frequencies on this music makes it grow longer. Like, I look at music totally different by being a composer and producing music and writing music and stuff. something is like a tonal language, like
That's right.
Asian language is a tonal language. So I
Mhm.
try to make it that language like mathematics. So I try to make music. It's all math,
Right.
So it's all timing and numbers, and so I try to keep in sync. When I start doing music now, um, I keep it to vibrate higher.
Mhm.
So if I'm working with an artist and the track could be jamming, I could say, man, this track is a hit. I swear it's a hit. All you gotta do is put the right lyrics on this track. And if it go over their head, then I know they on a lower vibration,
That's right.
so they can't even feel the track. So I gotta get 808 stuff so it be
Right.
on their level of vibration.
Yeah.
So
808 is the one. Everybody wants that. I don't know why it is.
because the music now is on a lower vibration.
Mm.
The music now is really it hits the bottom chakra.
Right.
So when 808s is going down there like that, you gotta look at it like it's all to make women dance.
You know what? I love to dance.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I want to try to kind of give some of the listeners a little bit of your background so they
Mhm.
can understand why you understand all of the 808, right?
Right.
Yeah. So if you guys do not know who it is that I am speaking to, it is Kojak Charles. Kojak Charles is one of the most well-known producers in the game. 5-time RIAA, and that's Recording Artists Industry Association certified platinum. This man have the plaques on his wall, no games being played whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I want to let you know who it all that this man has this music attributed to. If you've never heard of Mike Jones, who Mike Jones, then surely you have heard of Lil Flip. And if you haven't heard of Lil Flip, maybe you've heard of Goody Mob. Or tell us some of the other artists who you've been
Young Jeezy.
Young
And,
Jeezy.
Everybody in Houston from Pimp C to
Big
Big
Mo.
Mo,
Yep.
Flip, Lil O. And when I came to Houston, my goal was to produce all the legends.
That's right.
I look at them as legends because you got to give these dudes they flowers because they did have an impact worldwide.
They
And I've
did.
been from East Coast to West Coast, and to see that I know these dudes somewhat on a personal level,
Hmm.
I've been around in their circle. To hear somebody in the East Coast say their name out the gate
Yeah.
is crazy to me. It's like,
Yeah.
so you got to give those guys from the Southwest, from the North, from the South, all those dudes got to get they just due, because until you step out of Houston, Texas, and you go across this country, you appreciate, you poke your chest out a little more, because now it's not just the rap a lot thing that put the stamp across the country.
Right.
It's, the Zeros, the Sauce Walkers, the
Yeah.
Beat Kings, the Megans, we talking about the Lil O's, the Fat Pat, all these old cats, the Zeros, and all these dudes sold a whole lot of records.
That's right.
And a lot of fan base, Midwest, in all these areas. It tripped me out. I was in Cincinnati,
Yeah.
and they was riding swingers in Cincinnati. In Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's contagious.
I was
It's
amazed
contagious.
to
Yeah.
see swingers in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Everybody loves this flavor. When I was in Chicago, that was the first thing they were on. What about Screwed Up Click? What about
Right.
Big Mo? What about Fat Pat?
Right.
I was like, in Chicago? What? I mean, I thought y'all were just two-stepping and stepping in the name of love.
Right. And by me coming from a young age in LA and fast paced living in Los Angeles and then coming to Louisiana, that's fast paced, but the music is so different.
Yeah.
So I got a taste of West Coast and I got a taste of Louisiana.
Who did you gravitate to in LA?
Everybody, was the same old. LA West Coast is West Coast. You going everybody on the West Coast, you was rocking with them. So from Snoop, Dre, and all those at the beginning, NWA. I remember I brought NWA to Louisiana.
Wow.
Nobody knew about Eazy-E and NWA until I got to Louisiana, and I gave it to Dope.
Wow.
I gave it to Dopey.
Wow. Now I heard you had a connection with Cameo. You know, it's one of my favorite artists, and I noticed right away when I heard your beats that there was such beautiful live instrumentation involved in your beats.
Yeah, that came from a marching band background. My band director played for Cameo, played trumpet for Cameo.
And where'd you go?
Oh, in St. Marvin. I went to Southern in Baton Rouge.
Mm-hmm.
I marched in the band at Southern, but I started music. My music started early from the high school marching band, and my band director was he was a trumpet player for Cameo.
Now you were playing drums?
Nah, I played a trombone first.
Trombone?
But I had 7 brothers, so all of them played instruments. So I used to play all the instruments.
What do you play?
Trombone, trumpet, drums. My brother Chris played the drums. Michael played the baritone. Jimmy played trumpet.
Any woodwind?
Sean playing trumpet. No, nobody played woodwind.
Yeah.
I started playing woodwind because my girlfriend played woodwind in high school, so I used to play.
Flute?
She played the flute, and then I used to play with Lorraine and all. I used to play with I didn't have a reed, so I stole one of my band director reeds, and then I was like, I can't put my mouth on a mouthpiece.
Yeah, you can.
Nah,
you clean that off.
Nah, but long time ago I stole a reed, and I remember my cousin Chip played saxophone, so I dabbled in everything.
Yeah.
So I wound up playing, my foundation instrument was wind up a bass horn.
Bass horn?
I was a bass horn player. So when I went to the next level in college, I played bass horn.
I have always wanted to get down with brass. I mean, I could do a little something on the trumpet, actually. My best friend Michael in high school used to show me a lot on the trumpet. I was pretty good at it. I've done a little something on saxophone, clarinet, also the piccolo.
But I wish they would Louisiana has a good marching band. Sometimes it gets over to Memphis now. They have battle of the bands and stuff. But that brings the instrumentation back in the music. So I'm glad the marching band stuff came back, actually, because these kids now can actually implement that element of music when they starting to produce now.
Tell me a little something about creativity and how that was cultured with the band and the marching band and your family.
Well, my band director used to say, man, anybody could play a drum. So I focused on, knowing how music theory. So just
music theory.
By being in class, and I used to play on the computer, the piano all the time. My band director used to say, get off the piano. So I used to go to his house. My band director stayed 2 doors down from me, so I couldn't hide from it.
So you playing bass horn, trombone,
trumpet, and then in the pep band, I played the bass guitar.
Bass guitar, piano. Yeah. What don't you do?
It's a lot I don't do, but it's a lot that I play with. It's a lot that I don't do, but it's a lot. Music, anything, I try to engulf myself all in the music. Yeah. So when I look at these records on the wall right here, I'm like, damn, look at all that goodness. See, I look at that as hits.
Yeah.
They look at it as this is a vibe.
Right.
But I see hits through all those records on the wall right now.
Right. Yeah, no, I saw some Atlantic Star up there.
I look at it different.
Yeah, they got some Carpenters up there too.
Because I know they got some hits on those records.
Oh yeah.
I know they got some bass lines and some piano parts that I can replay and make another hit out of.
So how has music changed since you first began in 1994?
It changed a whole lot. This is probably the 3rd or 4th cycle. We had the crunk era, then we had the snap era. So we going through another era. It's Dr. Dre, I'm trying to creep back in and change the platform back to the early 90s. Yeah. So I'm noticing that you have the foresight to see what kind of beats Dre and them putting out. So they was the standard.
Right.
So they set the tone for the music industry for the last 25, 30 years. Behind the scenes. So he sat back and watched. And when he sat back and watched, I said, okay, everything is in timing. So, okay, this little mumble raps, they had a nice run, but I think that run is almost over. If I'm seeing what kind of records that's being released right now, a lot of those records that everybody's singing and rapping, this almost over. The Migos flow I think that's almost over. It's about to be another change. Like the baby style came out, and not too many people mocked him, but his style, he's the only one rapping like that.
Right. So what do you hear that's different?
Sonically, everything musically is right now is more drum heavy. It's no instrumentation to some of this music. So it's more on the low, like I said, on a low vibration. It's all drums, no music. So you might have a beat now, have one instrument or two instruments in it, and drums, all drums. So the artist becomes the instrument.
The artist is the instrument.
Yeah, it becomes, instead of the poet, the artist becomes the instrument. So you don't really hear what they saying because it's on a low vibration and they not even enunciating the words all the way. So it's a tone. It's a tone that they're giving off. It's not really words. Some people listening to the words because they speaking their language. I can't understand their language because I'm from a different genre. I have to really listen to that song a couple of times to understand what they're actually saying on these songs.
Yeah.
So more now, to me, my opinion, not everybody else's opinion, my opinion, I look at the artist as being, instead of being like a Scarface, like a poet, I can get something out the record, it's a whole instrument and everybody sound the same.
Yeah.
So it's the same vibration.
So who is it that you are listening to? Because I know you like music. Obviously, you like creating music. But what puts you in the vibe? Who are you listening to?
Well, right now, I was listening to Tchaikovsky on the way here. Tchaikovsky?
Oh, Tchaikovsky.
Yeah, I was listening to classic music. Like,
classical, yeah.
That's what I was listening to coming in.
Yeah, no, that's what I grew up listening
because
to.
Because I don't want to listen to the radio. Because if I listen to the radio, guess what I'm going to do when I get on my drum machine?
What?
Mimic what I hear.
Yeah, no. You come from an original place. I love that about you.
So
your music sounds so far removed from what everybody else is doing.
I can't tune in what everybody else is doing because now I'm going to start mimicking and sounding like this one. So I got to clear my head from anything musically on the radio, period. Now, if I want to vibe out one day and sit back, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be some old school stuff, some old R. Kelly or some old Keith Sweat or some old R&B stuff.
Already.
Jagged Edge, some stuff like that.
So now I have a quote for today.
Here we go.
If you know about it, you know that she shed it and all that kind of stuff. I tend to gravitate towards quotes and small sayings and things and proverbs and whatnot because that's how generally my mind works. I can look at an entire body of work and then just take one quote out of it that really rings true to me. So today's quote is from Ifeanyi Orisasona Sango Balewa. This is another spiritual mentor and yoga instructor that I have from my past. And the quote goes, "See, what they didn't know is that while they were too busy counting you out on some old shit, you were too busy counting your blessings on some new shit." People love to look at your past. People love to try to say what you were back in the day, and they don't ever really just know that, we're all revolving. We all grow. You all have an opportunity to make something new of yourself. Any vision, any purpose that you might have, move into it. Put some energy towards it. Write it out on paper. Do some some brainstorming and put some words down on the paper that gravitate towards those visions and purpose and just grow into that. Can you talk to me a little bit about how it is that you develop your visions and manifest them?
Well, prayer. I start off my day with prayer. I end my day with prayer. I almost pray all day. I know at 12 o'clock I stop what I'm doing. That's every day. I stop myself at 12 o'clock. And and I like to give thanks just for breath, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So and I thank God for my talent and let me know my talent. A lot of people still searching for what they was put on this planet to do, and a lot of people don't really have that grasp on, okay, what's my, they know their journey but they don't know their purpose.
Right.
So I know my purpose and I know my talent. So people are like, man, there's nothing in the music industry. I said, I don't know how to do anything else as well as I know how to do that. So, and I know since a kid in LA in the park, I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
So I strive on not being an artist, a writer, different. I focus on that, what I want to master. And you can
Right.
never master it. So it's like running in a maze and you trying to get out the maze and you still coming back at the same spot. So
Starting over again.
I'ma still chase this thing I love so much, and that's my purpose. I know what I was put on this planet to do, and it was just to make people feel good through music.
You know what? Your music makes me feel good.
Appreciate that.
Because I want to be a baller, a shot caller, 20H Blaze, or
Impala.
Now, you know, those are some of the hits. Remind me some of all the hits.
Man, it's funny how, you know, when D-Rec gave me that chance and gave me all Big Mo vocals.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a pleasure because I met Mo a long time ago. When I think it was like 05, 06, I think when I met Mo. When most
You talking about like
D-Rec,
20 years ago?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Okay.
And D-Rec was living in Arcola out there.
Mm-hmm.
And Mo, he had a studio in his atrium in his house. And I remember Mo came in the studio. He pulled up and he freestyled in the booth and he fell asleep in there. And he woke up. So I met the dude and actually have D-Rec give me his vocals and trust in me to say, hey, handle this project with me. And the man mama came.
Wow.
And when his mama was in the studio and she hearing the music I'm doing over her son, it was just a good place. It made me feel that I was a part of that.
Yeah.
And then when Flip called me back in to do that King Life album.
Yeah.
And
King Life, that just came out a couple years ago.
Yeah, it just came out. Yeah, about 2 years almost making. So when I did King Life, I went there to do 1 or 2 beats. He wound up buying 17 beats.
Yeah.
And then Big T was in there. So me and Big T sitting on the couch, just sitting there and chopping it up. And I didn't have a clue who he was.
Yeah.
So we chopping it up. So I said, well, let me start working on your album. So Flip was really putting the album out on Big T.
Wow.
And then when he passed, I was like, damn.
Man.
So it makes me, when I sit back and be like, man, I've been around all the good ones, except for I've been around Hawk. I ain't been around Pat, but when I was to Pimp House, I've been knowing Chad since back when he was coming to my hometown, because a homeboy of mine was his best friend, and Dobie was his DJ. My cousin was his DJ. So I've been seeing Pimp for forever coming in the city and coming by Montreal, and he come pull up at the house, go by Jokey House. So Pimp C was he was a normal entity around Lafayette area. He had come around. So, but for me to be in his home and recording him, whole different monster.
Yeah,
so
horse of a different color.
Yeah, so it was interesting. It was interesting just to come from here and be accepted, coming from Louisiana and being accepted in that Houston scene, and for me to produce all these great people. Kiki just got on my music with the last little old project. So I got Kiki under my belt. I still never got Slim yet. I did J-Dog. I did all the Chameleonaires, the only one I haven't produced when he was, doing music and stuff. But it's a lot of these great dudes that has a lot of influence on the young people, and they the pillars of Houston. And to say that I work with them is a big thing for me. It's an accomplishment for me being not from this city.
That's what's up. I remember I hung out with you in the studio with Lil Flip. That
Right.
was amazing
Right.
for me.
You was there that night. You
Yep.
sure did
I
come.
was so surprised that this was actually happening to
Right.
me, you know. I mean, I've met a couple of artists. You know, we had E-Rock in the studio
Right.
just a few
And
days ago.
I was a puppet with him when he was doing the Fifth Wall Boys. The people that put him out actually moved me here.
Yeah.
So Dewey from Rap-A-Lot moved me here to Houston.
Wow.
So I was on Lowndes Avenue every day with E-Rock and Low Life, and they was doing music in the studio.
What about Devin? You ever work with him?
I was in the studio with Devin a couple of times, but I never worked with him.
Mm.
But I sat in the studio with Damo and Blind Rob, and we just sitting there. But I was a student at that time. You gotta understand, I had no hits.
Yeah.
I'm fresh in Houston, and I'm all at Rap-A-Lot. So Devin in the studio, Face in the studio. You get kicked out the studio on Pine Mountain. You get kicked out the studio because you just the youngster around.
Yeah, you
This
still
99, 2000, early 99,
You
98.
still on the porch.
I'm a baby. So I'm a baby, and PWA out.
Yeah.
Rapstar out. The Ghetto Boys out. And I'm just riding around. I'm just, street team with Omar and Red Boy when Red Boy was street team.
Yeah.
That's how long I've been around there.
Wow. This is like, we're talking about like 9-6.
Yeah, this is before International Red.
Yeah.
This is Red Boy. This is Stay Down before the accident. Stay Down.
Mm.
This was Big Chief and not Chief.
Wow.
So I've been in the trenches out here. I put in my work.
Yeah,
And
it
to
sounds
sit,
like
and
it.
to sit back and see the people that was in high school that come across the street. B King, look where he at today. When I want to sign B King, when I had my label up with Sam James, B King didn't want to sign. B King wanted to be his own boss. Respected that.
Mm.
He wanted his C3 Entertainment. He stood on that. And his due diligence and work, look where he at today. Then surpassed everybody that doubted him.
Yeah, everybody
that doubted him. But his music, I thought, was local music. And he stuck with it. So that goes to show whoever opinion, if you got faith in your stuff, stand by your stuff. Stand on it. Because everybody gonna have their chance. Now, how you position yourself is where you have a second chance or how you maintain it. So it could, just like that light could cut on, it could cut clean off.
Mm.
So it could cut off. So it depends on how you handle your business when you get the light put on you. See, when I got put on Houston, everybody was going platinum out the gate. Houston had a light on them.
Mm-hmm.
What killed Houston was was beefing with each other. Houston didn't jump like Atlanta did on everybody's songs. So now Houston has a second chance right now. You got Travis, you got B King, you got Megan, and who else coming up under?
Isn't A$AP Rocky from Houston?
No. You got
where you from?
And then you got Megan with 2 Grammys. You got Chameleon there with a Grammy.
Mm.
You got Flip selling multi-platinum. You got Jones sold multi-platinum. You got Paul selling multi-platinum. So that's a whole nother light that Houston has on him right now. You got Sauce Walker now. All over the country. As animated as he is, marketing genius. Marketing genius.
We're gonna talk more about that.
Y'all can say what y'all want about that young dude.
But he got it down. He knows
it's a marketing genius. And know how crazy it is? Now, he's showing these young dudes how you can multiply your income. Now he's a spokesperson for doing advertisement for different companies. Man don't have to put no record out nowhere. He can go and just do ooh-wee and go across the country and get paid. He's showing them. Giving them the blueprint right there in their face on Instagram. Giving it to them. As animated as he is.
Tracks on my upcoming project. I wonder who that is. It just says Facebook user. My favorite producer. You got some comments up there.
I appreciate that.
I know that's right.
I give more to people in Houston and more artists. You can ask any artist in Houston. Them dudes could come by Chuckway Studio and I get them beats for damn near nothing. Because I want to see them be able to compete. Because really, it's not about the money with me no more. I'm good, straight.
Mhm.
But I don't look at it as the same as when I was, before these hits came. I was like, man, I
that's
gotta get
Thug Oster. What's up, Thugger?
He came meet me in Haverstock.
Already. What you doing in Haverstock?
I was at work. I was at work at Haverstock, and that dude came and met me and gave me money for a beat.
He's part of the Love Jam Radio family, so shout out to Thug Oster.
He the real one.
Yeah.
He the real one.
He one of them ones.
He a real one.
I wrote something about you.
Huh?
I wrote something about you.
What?
Yeah. Want to hear it?
Yeah.
Pure spirits, void of ill intentions, purify the world into submission to the possible giving and receiving balance through humbling. To humble someone is to help them realize the error in their logic and to show them better logics.
That's dope. I told you could have been a poet.
I still am.
I told you, you know. I told her, man, you need to come do poetry on one of these tracks. I told you that years ago.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to push forward in my writing, and we're going to talk more about that. She Shed Show 2.0 every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. We bring you all the experts in their field, all the dope artists, all the dope, everyone who is an expert in their field. We bring them right here to She Shed Show 2.0. I am your girl, super duper _ trunk rattler. In the studio this evening, Kojak Charles, world-renowned producer, and Miss Lovey, the queen of all things indie. We will be right back